You can start.
I'm Meda, and we did violence in the media, and we're open to questions.
Look at Could you give us kind of an overview, if it's just, like, what exactly are you trying to make a point about? Because that's a huge topic, so.
Well, basically what we've found through the research that we've done is that there are many, many studies on either side of whether it has a big effect on children or people in general. And yeah, whether it should limit it or should be unlimited.
Can you define your terms a little bit clearly so we can begin? What do you mean by violence in the media? Because if I watch the news sometimes, it can get violent.
That's certainly, by violence, I think, what I mean, I'm not going to speak for these two, but what I mean is access to outside information like war, violence, murder, that kind of thing.
So you would be referring to the nightly news that might be showing me some bombings over Syria or chemical attacks or something like that.
Yes.
That's what you're referring to. Okay, anybody else referring to something different?
I mean, we could refer to TV, movies, and video games as well, so anything like that.
Does it make a difference whether we're talking about news or entertainment?
Yes, because we need to know kind of what's going on in the world, whether it's voluntary or not. With entertainment, you're going out of your way to partake in that, I guess. And with the news, you kind of have to know what's going on in other countries or what's going on here, and that violence is kind of inevitable, I guess.
So portrayals of violence are inherent in the news because of the scope of what it covers? Is that what I'm hearing? I should expect violence to be on the news?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
So let's kind of look at the news portion of this and then we can move to entertainment. Should news companies, broadcasters, or even the government limit what we see and censor kind of what we see in terms of violence, or is that a good thing that we see?
I think we should have as clear of a view of the world as we can, because censorship is one of the worst things to happen, because purposeful ignorance is a bad thing, in my opinion. But I feel like to younger audiences, it shouldn't be as explicitly told as it is on the news sometimes, but they got some sort of filter, but they should still know what's going on. Like,
So, for example, recently there was an attorney activist who set himself on fire to protest global warming. Could a news reporter have just told me what happened about that story, or did I need to see pictures of a person on fire?
I wouldn't show pictures, like detailed pictures, and they can blur anything on it, but pictures would be nice to know that they're not just making it up, but it shouldn't be, you can go here to see pictures, they shouldn't put it for everyone to see, as far as like, just a onlooker, it could be a child or something like that.
Have you ever seen a disclaimer on the news where it says, for those of you with young children in the room, be aware that some of the pictures you're about to see are graphic?
Yeah, I've seen that occasionally, but there's some times where they just don't do that, which I'm not a huge fan of.
That was one of the solutions, I guess, to, in particular, the news, and I guess also for these, but adding more disclaimers and making people more aware of what is coming up.
Joan, if you see a disclaimer that something that's coming up may not be suitable for young viewers, does that make you more or less likely to want to see what's coming up?
Me personally,
Yes.
I would probably want to see what's going on in the world. I
Why?
guess.
Why is that?
I don't really know.
So if I, as a newscaster, say, we've got this story, Mrs. Eiler spoke very well to it, of, you know, maybe a picture of a corpse or something that's coming up, and this could be disturbing to certain viewers. If you have small children, you know, leave the room. Would you guys be apt as high school students to leave the room, to turn the channel, or would you be apt to want to stay on and see what's coming after that disclaimer?
I probably.
You probably would. So you would watch it, Gavin? Jonah?
With the disclaimer that you gave, that where it says there's a corpse and
Right.
whatnot, I don't know if I would watch it.
Cole?
I guess it's just an odd sense of morbid curiosity that everyone has, but if I had a 5-year-old in the room with me, I would change the channel.
Okay,
That's
so-
too much.
So maybe not, absolutely, depends on the circumstances, is
If
what
I
I'm
was
hearing.
by myself, just out of morbid curiosity, I would watch.
Okay, so do we feel like, knowing what you three have just said and kind of different views on it, do we feel like those disclaimers are effective in that case?
Depends on
It's really the viewer, yeah,
Okay.
depends on the situation, who's in the room or not. I guess.
Really speaking for my own children who only watch the news when like their mom's forcing them to, that's something where I can control. But with regard to entertainment, do parents lose a bit of control with that?
well, they shouldn't. There's a rating system in place for a reason.
Okay, how old are you, Joan?
18.
Are all of you 18?
Yep.
Okay, think back 1 year, you're 17. Did your parents monitor what games you were playing or what you were watching?
I mean,
What I was watching, yes.
What about games you were playing?
Sometimes, yeah.
not really.
Like I couldn't go out and watch a rated R movie without them explicitly giving me permission or not.
But could you pick up a video game rated M?
Not all, no.
Okay, what about like with a high rating for violence?
I haven't really been a whole lot into that.
Okay.
recently, so it really didn't affect me.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
I mean, I'm not going out looking for games that are violent because they are violent.
Okay.
It just doesn't appeal to me.
So what research did you find on how those things affect children?
It really varied from all the way from on one side to it didn't at all, and then on the other side where it did entirely, but most of it I found was linked to whether that child was already aggressive or not, and it just enhanced that aggression and violence. But if they weren't, it wasn't as big of a cause factor.
So what kind of aggression do some studies suggest that violent video games or violent television programs tend to encourage? And so is there a difference between the violence I see on my early morning, Saturday morning cartoons, like I used to watch when I was a little kid, Tom and Jerry, you know, hitting each other over the head with the frying pan, as opposed to some of the video games where I'm picking up a gun and I'm shooting people?
I would say so, yes, for a few reasons. One, because of how, I guess, much more realistic it is than Tom and Jerry, and then also a big part of it was the like role playing and interactiveness of video games, and then how it encourages you to, I guess, be that character.
Do we feel like there's been a proliferation, especially in the video game market, of those first-person shooter games? Why is it? I don't remember that being a big topic when I was playing Atari growing up, and Frogger was getting squished on
Yeah,
the road,
Pong did
or
not.
Pong. Yeah, Pong. There wasn't a lot of violence there. Do we feel like there's been a proliferation of that, and how has that played out in our youth?
I mean, definitely, it serves kind of a role of a power fantasy, which
Okay.
some people don't want to leave, which is I guess that's more of a mental health issue, but the media and a lot of people point to video games as being an enabler, which
Mhm.
I disagree with, because if a parent knows their child is more prone to violent interactions, they shouldn't be allowing that child access to that kind of media, or restrict it, or tell them, hey, it's just a game, calm down, rather than blame the people who make it for a wider audience than just their child.
Okay, let's stay on the proliferation front. So we all agree that there's probably more availability of, we'll pick on first-person shooter games now than there was when I was a child. Why is that? Why are they so saturated, or seemingly so saturated in the market now? Is it because they're the best games ever and they're so much better than Mario 2, which was terrible? Mario 3 was really good. Is it because they're just better games? Why have we so saturated the market with the Call of Duty games, games like that?
It's just the popularity aspect of it.
Okay, talk to me a little bit about that.
I enjoy playing it, I guess. I don't know
Okay.
where the popularity came from.
So it's demand driven, we feel like?
Do you play those games?
Yes.
What do you like about them?
I just like to be able to play online with my friends.
Can you play Madden or FIFA online with your friends?
Yes.
Okay, so what is it that you like better about these more violent games than the sports games?
I personally like the sports games better, actually.
Oh, okay.
So.
And I think back to what you were saying was, I think it's a lot to do with everyone else is playing it, so why don't I hop on the bandwagon and play it too? And it just kind of keeps going up, I guess.
Okay.
And to kind of add on to that, the video game market right now is shifting away from direct first-person shooters to games like Fortnite or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which encourages team building and friendly behavior.
Wait, but let's talk about Fortnite. Friendly behavior. You're supposed to be
With your
killing
team,
people.
with your teammates.
Okay, so
but it's still a team building, maybe friendly behavior. with
okay,
the
let's
long
all
term.
join up and go kill people. I mean, does that still
It's-
send
it's
the
a-
wrong message?
Okay. Why do
Killing people is what we're
people?
Sorry, you were never gonna get away with
Ms.
it.
Adler's a strong Fortnite
Why do
player.
people?
Sorry.
That's awesome.
But why do people love things like the Hunger Games or Maze Runner so much? Where the same kind of violence is encouraged, and people. I mean, Hunger Games has made millions of dollars, and no one's like, "Oh, this is an outrage. It's children."
Oh, you haven't talked to me, have you?
Well, the mass audience is not rebelling against this kind of teen-enabled
Okay.
violence.
Do you think it makes it worse though, as opposed to I'm this sole solitary person out there shooting people, and now I'm getting a bunch of my friends together and we're going to go kill people? I mean, is that better or worse?
I guess it's a very.
I think it depends on how you interpret it, honestly.
No, I'm asking you. Interpret it however you want. What kind of argument that you would you make for that question?
I mean, personality. Like, what that when a kid will be afraid to be offended or anything.
Okay, so you can detach. You can go out and kill all the people you want as long as they're virtual people, but you are not going to go out
Yeah.
and kill somebody like who's got flesh and blood.
Okay, what about me? Because I've just had experience with this the other day. My son went over, he's 9, went over to a friend's house down the street and came back talking about Fortnite. So obviously he had been playing it with his friends. Like, what would you say to that? I mean, he's 9. You think that's a good influence on him?
I mean, at such a young age, I would restrict that kind of violence from my child, but like, I wouldn't restrict video games altogether, because there are, like, I guess violence is so embedded in our culture that it's kind of hard to remove that kind of conflict from media, but
Why is it embedded in our culture?
it's a good storytelling device.
Okay, but what I'm curious is what you think. Which do you think came first? Kind of like the chicken and the egg thing. Did the violence in media come first, and therefore our society become more violent, or the other way around?
Like you said, it's more chicken and the egg. I guess stuff like the news gave it a broader platform to spread. More people hear about a robbery of a Waffle House that happened last weekend. Like, they almost all, like, I heard about it like 4 hours after it happened. But if it was by word of mouth, it may have taken a week, 2 weeks, something like that. So, it is more of a chicken or the egg question. I doubt we'd ever be able to find out truly.
I want to look back and then
There
I'll
you go.
stop talking
You're
for a
fine.
while.
You're fine.
The question Gavin was talking about how you can play these games and remain detached. It doesn't make you more aggressive. It doesn't make you want to go hurt people. Have you all seen any statistics about the number of school shooters who were active players in some of these first-person shooter type games?
There are a lot of them, but then one of the Sandy Hook shooter, his addiction was Dance Dance Revolution, is what the FBI found, and he didn't play the other ones. So I think it is still a mental health issue more than this caused me to shoot up a school. I guess.
Is it fair to say it's a factor?
Absolutely, it could be a factor. Back to if that person's already aggressive, if they already have mental issues, they could be pushed, I guess, or influenced to do something like that.
So if we can agree that it's a factor in causing violence in society, is there something that we should be doing to restrict it?
Yes, I think more parental involvement will be a big help, and then the rating system is kind of flawed in that you can just take your parent to get you that game, or even if the store doesn't care that much, they can just sell you it anyway because it's sales to sale, and then because it's not government regulated, it's just I guess what's the word? Like they're just saying that they'll do it.
Industry driven?
The ESRB grading system is kind of like an official, I use quotes for that, like board of people who authorize this kind of thing.
So you're saying,
No, you're fine. Go
so
ahead.
you're saying that it should be a parent issue. What happens in like the Parkland incident, when Nicholas Cruz didn't have a solid parent structure, he was living with some friends at that point. What happens then? And I'm not saying that he was affected by games or whatever, but if he were, what are in the absence of parents, who has to be the one to restrict? Or is it anybody?
Really not sure.
Gavin, what do you think? It's opinion based.
Probably like parents that he's with or whatever. should be
Exactly.
responsible.
Just because someone's an adult, they should have all of the, like, if I was going out to buy a gun, I would want someone to say to me, I think you're, like, if I wasn't in a good mental state to own a gun, I would want someone to tell me, hey, you shouldn't buy a gun.
So should we have psychological tests for buying video games?
No, but I feel like the family structure would help, or again, it's rough because it's in a free market. That you're running that risk. It's a gamble, but there's always going to be an outlier. This statistic says 97% of people between the ages 12 and 17 play video games. So of course 1% of those people are going to be violent. It's just we need to learn how to deal with that more than like preventing video game access altogether. That's just my
We're a little far from it, but I wanted to go back to a point that Mrs. Eiler was making earlier. The difference, if we assume that there's a potential for some sort of influence, whether it's somebody who has a propensity for mental illness or something related, some medical issue that may cause them to be more inclined to violence, what is the difference in them playing a first-person shooter game versus a group game like Fortnite, where you're gathering together a large group of people to go attack or lay siege to whatever? What's the influence on the real world? Why would one of those maybe impact that person differently than the other one? If you have a hard time detaching the virtual world from the real world.
I guess with first-person shooters, it puts you in the eyes, like it associates you with whatever character you're playing, but it fulfills a huge power fantasy. While games like Fortnite, everyone is on the equal ground, and you're not just killing computers, or you're not attacking computers. you're playing against other people, which could demoralize a higher ego that could build from, like if you're on a winning streak.